All right, we are live.
Okay, so I guess you can start with the prayer, and I don't mind giving a spiritual thought.
Okay. Our dear Heavenly Father, please bless that we will be able to learn a lot from this case and from this class, and that we will be able to give good insight of our thoughts and feelings towards the case. And please bless all of the other people in our class that they will be able to learn a lot from this case as well. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen. Thanks. So I guess before we start, did you see that spreadsheet where we have to sign up to be in groups?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I did.
So there's these guys in group 5 need 2 more people. So
Okay.
I know one of those guys from work, where I used to work,
Mm-hmm.
and they meet Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9:30 p.m.
Okay.
So if you can make that, I mean,
Yeah,
and
that'll work for me.
be in that group. I sent him an email saying if I could join. Um, but I don't. It'd be good to have another 3 people, so we don't have to you know organize
Mm-hmm.
a group with other people that kind of beg for people to be in our group.
Yeah.
So, and the preferred size is 5. So they have 3 guys, and then it would be you and me if you can make that time.
Yeah, that'll work for me.
Yeah, so I would email one of them. They have their emails there.
Okay. What group is it?
Group 5.
Okay. With Kevin and Josh.
Yep, those guys. So I'd put possibly joining group 5. I haven't received an email back. I just don't want to put I still put group 5 just in case, so no one else gets in there. But I
Mm-hmm.
haven't received an answer, yes or no. But it seems like they're open, like they don't really care as long
Okay.
as they're 5. So you can put 5 there if you want to join, and
Okay.
then I think they'll be fine with it.
Cool. I will do that. All right.
Okay. So I guess spiritual thought. This week, I've been thinking a lot about, I guess, how to be successful in different areas of life. I guess academically and spiritually, and with family, and just pondering about it. I found that the best way to be successful, even if you have ups and downs, is just putting the gospel first. So I have a calling as a primary teacher, and sometimes preparing the class can be take a little while. And since I have a lot of homework, sometimes I think, oh man, just another assignment. But I find that if I put that first, time always seems to expand itself, so I have time to do everything. So I was just thinking that the Lord really blesses us if we put Him as a priority in our lives. And I know that if we do so and also put our families as a priority, we will have time to do everything else. And the Lord will, fill in the gap with whatever we need. And I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. So I was a little confused because there's like 2 different question lists. One for to prep for
Mm-hmm.
this
And
meeting, and then
then one that's like where it says like have someone offer the prayer and then
right.
share their thoughts about something spiritual.
Yeah, I think last time we only did the first one, not the second one.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think we did as well. And it's
but I
kind of
think
weird because
we
they're
only have to
different
do.
questions.
Yeah, they're different. I mean, they are. I mean, some of them are kind of similar.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like in this second list, they're just broken down further.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the case was pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope I have the right numbers for the calculation. But I guess we can start with number 3. What grade would you give the founders of Rent the Runway for their work in starting it? What did we see most effective? Where did they stumble? And what should they have done differently? Does the order in which they took specific actions matter?
Well, I would probably give them an A minus because they did have some issues getting, I guess, building the company, but they did a pretty good job getting those designers together and being able to get their product a little bit cheaper than some of the other companies out there.
Right. I guess along your same lines, I would give them a B plus. Just because I do think that they did really good, and their value proposition is really great, and they validated that they have the demand, so that means that their idea is pretty good. But I think the order in which they did some things could have improved, I guess. Although overall they did a good job. I think that two ladies not really being really experienced with the fashion industry or technology industry, I think they pulled it off pretty well. So I guess, what did you see as most effective?
I thought that it was kind of cool how they kind of adjusted their pitch to the designers, because they wanted to make it so I guess they were not taking away from the designers' customer base. I guess they kind of pitched it in a way that would show that they're trying to increase the customer base for the designers, so then they will all just kind of work together.
Yeah, that's what I'd put. I think that what was most effective for them was that networking idea, the building the relationships with the designers. And yeah, at first they just pitched it as, oh, let us buy your product for very cheap and we'll rent it. And at the beginning they were like, oh, heck no. But as soon as they pitched it, as, oh, we're going to expand your customer base, we're a channel to expose your brand to, younger women that want to buy your brand eventually. Then
instead of getting those,
saw the value in that,
yeah. Instead of get the old people that can't afford their brands, and yeah, I thought that was kind of cool how they were able to just change their approach to make it so it would, I guess, work out.
Yeah, I liked how I really liked how they did market research. I feel they could have done it a little sooner. So, because they lost a few designers, but if they would have had some numbers already, they could have showed that to make their point stronger. And they didn't really get those agreements with the top designers until they did those market trials. I feel that if they would have done that a little earlier, while they were trying to get a capital investor, then first they could have gotten a bigger investment. So not only the 1.9 million, they probably, if they had results already, with the market trials, they could have done a lot more. So right now they wouldn't be wondering if they need more to grow or not. They would already have it. And then second, if they had those numbers already, the market trials, they could have probably gotten a better idea of the inventory they needed, because they had a lot of shortages.
Yeah,
and
that's
probably
true.
lost a few customers. because they weren't satisfied, they're in a wait list forever. They probably just got sick of being on the wait list. So I guess it's normal to have more demand or less demand because, you never know.
Hmm.
But I feel like if they would have done that earlier, they could have understood, what their market was and had a better idea of demand. So I guess they did it really well. I like the 3 different types of market trials, and I thought that was pretty effective to understand their customers, but I think they should have done it at a different time, a little earlier.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. That could have helped a lot having the extra funds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the other thing is, I know they did a beta kind of test of the website,
Hmm.
like a week before it was launched. I think they should have done that a little earlier too. I know their website wasn't up to par,
Hmm.
um, because obviously they had problems with the engineering and stuff. But I feel like if they had gone a good engineering team at the beginning, because they don't know anything about building a website. They're not
Hmm.
technology experts. So I feel that if they would have hired a CTO earlier on, and not just like a technology director like that guy,
Hmm.
maybe had a stronger team, they could have built the website better, a little earlier with
Hmm.
less bugs, and they could have done that beta test a month or even just 3 weeks before, so they can and run it for 2 or 3 weeks and get an idea of demand because it was pretty crazy. I think they had a lot of people
Hmm.
that wanted the
Yeah,
product.
I was surprised by the numbers that it gave us of how many people, or I guess how many people became members, and 150,000 members like that quick. That was surprising.
Yeah, no, it was definitely, and it also surprised me a waiting list reached 50,000. That was,
Hmm.
yeah, that was pretty crazy. So I think that's one of their problems, I guess. Tumbling Stone is that they didn't have, uh, I guess, the engineering capabilities.
Hmm.
And I feel that if you're gonna make or have a company that's mostly web based, you need to have a strong engineering. If you don't have an engineering background, you should at least have the right people. And at the beginning, they hired someone from, was it Canada or something? And then
Yeah.
they weren't working, so they had to basically fire them.
Hmm.
And then they had these other guys from India, and then a month they didn't even check up on them. Just a month before launch, they were like, "Okay, how are you guys doing?" And they were completely behind schedule. Only 2 people were working on it. So
Hmm.
yeah, I feel that they needed someone because I know they were busy. It's not that they were necessarily negligent that they didn't check up on it, but they thought, "Oh, we don't know anything about that. I think they're doing fine." But if they had a CTO, a team that was in charge of that, they've probably known sooner that the people in India weren't doing their job, you know, or probably
Hmm.
do it themselves. Who knows?
All right, let's see. Let's see. Are we on question 4 now?
Um, I don't know. Do you have anything else with what should they have done differently, or does the order
Um,
they took specific actions matter?
well, I think it was like the order of their actions. Like they could have done that trial earlier, um, and that would have helped out with getting more funds and then helping get more of the designers on board because they can see how successful it is.
Right.
Um, because I know that they were still trying to work on like Michael Kors
Mm-hmm.
and like Marc Jacobs, I think is the other one that they were trying to get. And I think that would have persuaded them a little more, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's true. So the order does matter because they probably did that test too late.
Hmm.
Um, and that, I mean, it was good that they did it and they were smart about how they approached it. But they could have, potentially gotten a better idea of their customer base, and they probably wouldn't have had that shortage. I mean, the shortages that they had if they understood demand better. So I think it does matter, and although they did a pretty good job, they could have done that sooner. And then I also like how they manage their own warehouse, but I also think that they need a logistics expert
Mm-hmm.
to maybe reduce the cycle time for the dresses. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of improvements there, but I kind of agree with their decision of not making it, doing it through a third party or outsourcing that, because they get more control of what's going on and a better idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's one of the things I think they did good, but they should get an expert on that.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, number 4.
All right. Have the founders of RTR validated their business model? I would say yes, because they, I guess, tried it out and it seemed to work. I mean, they had to try a couple different things to find one that worked well for them, but it seems like they've kind of figured it out, because they had really good success and they figured that they were a little, what's the word? They didn't have quite the capacity for the demand,
Right.
but they're able to see that and adjust for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know at the beginning they wanted to. The original idea was to rent designer dresses through the designer's own website.
Mm-hmm.
And have the designers bear the cost of the website and stuff. But and they would manage the warehouse, but they changed that, I guess, model to just having a website of their own, doing their own business basically, and buying the dresses instead of borrowing them or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess a business model to me is like a plan of your business for it to be successful. Identify your customer base, your products, details of financing, revenue sources.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they've done that pretty well. They've, on a broad level, they understand what they want, what their customer base is. They have a strong product, I think. The website, the service, the idea, and they still have details to improve in the operations. But overall, I think they have a clear business model. In a sense of they know what their business is about, what they want, and they have certain ideas of how to grow it. But I think overall, just with the initial demand and revenue that they have, I think they have a strong case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think that's their biggest thing, is that they're becoming really popular. They just need to be able to keep up with the demand.
Yeah. And I think you validate your business model once, you get revenue, once you start actually selling and you see it go through, you see your plans work.
Mm-hmm.
Once you've done your research and, you have a hypothesis that, oh, this is what I want to do, and then you test it, which they did through the market tests. They did that beta thing. They also had some metrics in place to see, how their customers were interacting with the web page. They had the feedback that they got from the customer insights team. I mean, they have certain things in place to validate what they do. And I think the success of the first months kind of shows that. If they weren't making any money, I think that would be a clear indicator. Or if they didn't have demand,
Mm-hmm.
or lower demand than they expected, I think that would be a clear indicator that something was not going, how they wanted to go. But
Mm-hmm.
I think in a general level, they have validated their business model. And there's like 4 components. What did you get of that question? Like, it says the reading highlights 4 components of a business model. Did you do
I don't
anything?
know. That one was kind of confusing to me.
Yeah. Yeah, for me too. I was like, what? I mean, I know what the first 2 mean, customer value proposition and go to market, but I don't know what the others mean.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but in general, their value proposition is good. They offer a website where people can rent out the dresses. I think they're positioned to compete, and they really know how to network with their designers. They're not
Mm-hmm.
like the other companies that have a bad service or they have bad relationships with the designers. So they have a way to compete and to get that market share for sure with their, with the quality experience that they would give to the customers.
Mm-hmm.
So I think overall, I think they're pretty balanced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I kind of liked how it was saying in there that it's kind of their goal is to kind of make the customer feel more, I guess, confident in themselves and comfortable by providing like a high quality dress for the night. I think that was kind of cool how they kind of were more focusing on that than trying to make a good customer experience.
Yeah, they wanted their customers to feel great, basically. So yeah, they wanted their customers to come back just because they had such an incredible experience with the dress, renting it, feeling more confident about themselves, and overall having a really special experience with their website. So they want to come back every time.
Yeah, and there was actually a place in there where it said they already had 12.5% of their customers had ordered more than once in just 2 months. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's also a way to validate how well they're doing, and that's a pretty good return. And they do recognize that there's things that they need to do to improve that. Some of the things on the website for first-time visitors are a little confusing. But they have in mind to redesign the welcome, I guess, value of the web page, and also the checkout process. Those two things, so that it's easier for them. But overall, I think they've validated as a successful idea and a successful or a potential great company.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that they did. I mean, they did have some things that they had to change to validate it, but I think that they've got it down pretty well for the most part now.
Yeah. Another thing, I think, important part of the business model is the way they market. Their marketing strategy. I think it said it was 60% publicity and 40% word of mouth. So I thought that was pretty cool, and they're focusing on those referral discounts. But 40% word of mouth, I think, is pretty good. It means that people are liking it, telling their friends. And from members that is higher from members that are referred than than the other type of members.
Mm-hmm.
Those people are the ones who are bringing that 12%. You know, buying or renting the dress again.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. I think we covered number 4 pretty well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 5, how many times does a dress need to be rented in order to break even? How many times has an average dress been rented during the first 2 months of operation? And what do these results imply about the viability of the business?
Well, if they're renting it each dress, they said, what, 10 to 15%? That's like 10 times to break even on that dress.
10 to 50%, yeah. It says, let's see, where was that? In the other questions, it said to look at Exhibit 4. That's kind of where I started with those questions. It says, you know, to assume that, or to remember that two dresses were sent out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's different things that it says. And I just followed the video. I don't know if you watched the video on that one.
I kind of skimmed it.
So the video, I wish I could share my screen. So basically, what Brother Crawford was explaining in the video is that you need to get the break-even point. Mm-hmm. So how many dresses you have to sell in order to, you know, I guess go over the cost per dress, how much mm-hmm. they're paying for it to actually get revenue. So the way he put it out is you need the number of dresses per rental. So how many dresses are going out? And in the case, it said that they send 2 dresses. You know, they don't charge us for the second one, but they're still sending out 2 dresses, and they still had to pay for those 2 dresses.
Yeah.
And so if you see Exhibit 4, it kind of tells you the cost and the revenue for a mid-tier dress. It's kind of middle of the line, kind of the average, because, you know, mm-hmm. there's dresses from $50 to $1,500. But it says that they pay $226 for a dress.
Mm-hmm.
So if they send 2, that would be, you know, $452. So that's what it costs them, or Rent the Runway, to get those 2 dresses.
Mm-hmm.
Then it also, Exhibit 4 also shows you the revenue per rental. So, and the variable cost. So you get 90 and 31. It's just given.
Mm-hmm.
So then all you do is just, I guess, get what the real or the contribution margin is. So the 90 minus the variable cost to get what you're really making. And I got $59. So they get 90 per rental, but they have those $31. So
mm-hmm.
in variable costs. So that's like cleaning and handling and storing and different stuff. Kind of gives it to you, which is cool because it would have been hard to calculate an exact number because they just give percentages in the case.
Mm-hmm.
So break even was just like getting the cost of the dress and dividing it by what you're actually making on the dress, the $59. So for me, it was 8 dresses. Well, I had to round up because it was like 7 point something.
Mm-hmm.
So they need at least 8 dresses or rent 8 dresses in order to, I guess, recover those $452.
Okay.
So that's kind of the way I did it. But the second part of it was a little harder. So you have to compare it to early performance, you know, and how they're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And estimate how many times a dress is being rented out. I think it says there, how many times has an average dress been rented during the first 2 months of operation. Did you do anything on that one?
I couldn't really find the numbers for that one.
Yeah, so that one was. He kind of explained in the video a way to do it, but I got like 2 different results.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I can just walk you through it. You just get the rentals, the number of rentals or times you rented in the first month, and then you get the number of dresses in inventory, and then out of that, you get an average rentals, per dress.
Mm-hmm.
How many times it's being rented. And then if you want a yearly number, you just multiply it by 12.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I found like how many dresses they had, and then how many they had, like, I guess going out, like the demand for them.
Right. And so I didn't know which number to use because it kind of give 2.
Mm-hmm.
So at the beginning, they said they had 600 dresses, right? In however many styles. But then by mid-January, they had 2,000. So I didn't know if I should take those first numbers or the other numbers. But I got 2 different numbers. I mean, they're both profitable. I mean, they're making money.
Mm-hmm.
But I just didn't know which one to get because I think it's around page 9 or 8 that it says that they had 800 in inventory, sorry, and that they had 75% reserved already,
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I should take that number or just get the ones from mid-January. Because it does give you the numbers for that. It says that they've rented 2,000 by then, or they had 2,000 orders.
Yeah.
And then it says they had 1,000 dresses in inventory.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the average rental per dress would be 2.
Yeah.
They rent twice, or an average dress is rented twice. I guess per month. But I don't know if that's a per month number or.
The way it kind of seems like it's saying is that's for 2 months in that paragraph anyway. That's what it kind of looks like.
Yeah, because it says up to that point they had 2,000 orders. So I'm guessing, getting the average rental per those 2 months is 2, so it's once.
Mm-hmm.
But basically get a year number. I mean, that's what the video said. I don't know if we actually need a yearly number, but if you multiply that by 12 months, it's 24 times per year. So an average dress is rented 24 times. But it says, the question actually says, how many times has an average dress been rented during the first 2 months? So
that just be 4 then?
So I think the first 2 months is just that number because you're taking all the rentals, up to that point, which was 2,000. They had those orders. And then the inventory, they had 1,000. That was just, a dress is rented twice for those 2 months. So I'm guessing that answers the question. How many times during the first 2 months of operation?
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I mean, from what the information kind of looks like, it's leading to that.
So basically, what I got is on a yearly basis. So I just multiplied the 2 by 12, and then on a yearly basis, you kind of estimate the profit per dress.
Mm-hmm.
So what I got was, the 24 dresses per year. And then the break even was 8. That's what I got originally. So if I only sell 8 dresses, I don't get any money, So that's why I just subtracted the 8, because you need at least 8. So 24 minus 8. And then I multiply that by how much we actually make per dress, which was the $59. And then it gave me the profit per dress, which was like $964 in a year,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was pretty cool. So
Yeah, it seems like that's definitely worth their time.
yeah. So I mean, as far as the way I did it, as far as what this means to the company or what does it imply, I think it's the viability of the business is pretty good. I think they're
Mm-hmm.
promising results. The way I calculated it, and I think that's only going to increase if increasing their inventory and the number of people ordering.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how I viewed it.
Yeah, and then let's see, what do these results imply about the viability? It seems like they've got a good business model. Like as long as the dresses, I mean, if they can stay in good condition and not long enough to be rented out that many times, then they definitely will make a large profit off that.
Yeah. Yeah, if they just increase the number of dresses, I guess.
Because their demand is there, because they had 50,000 people on the waiting list.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. At least one of
So.
them are going to rent once,
Mm-hmm.
And if we were to take that 50,000, of rentals, and their goal is to have 5,000 in inventory by
Mm-hmm.
April. I think that's what it said. But even if they had that inventory, and then if they had like 8,000,
Mm-hmm.
they can still get a profit per dress either way. I think the goal is increasing the rentals and keeping the inventory at a good level, not to have
Mm-hmm.
shortages, but at a good level. I think that's what they really need to do. Focus on their rentals. And I think that kind of goes into the next question because they want to increase the number of inventory of different stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and if that results in a higher number of rentals, then it's worth it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think they could get more rentals with the same amount. I mean, I think they obviously need more inventory, but not a ton. So I think it's kind of premature to add accessories and stuff like that if they don't have their operations completely under control and
Mm-hmm.
if the website is still a little iffy,
Mm-hmm.
I think they really should concentrate, in my opinion, in improving it, um, and then focusing on putting more stuff in. And they might try to add, maybe add shoes or even handbags, something that won't cause them too much trouble. But I
Mm-hmm.
think, in my opinion, they should just um, seek to address their operational efficiencies first
Mm-hmm.
before scaling. Um, I think they can do it step by step, even though they're pressured by their investors. I think should really consider maybe fixing their website, um,
Yeah,
getting
that's.
get more inventory of what they already have.
Mm-hmm.
The dresses, because there's a huge wait list, and just by increasing the number of dresses, they can get a lot more people.
Yeah, those are the ones that I had down the website and getting in more dresses because it kind of seemed like some people had issues with the clarity of the website. So some people struggled with it a little bit, I guess, but if they make that a little easier to use, I think that'll help bring in more people as well. But then they'll need more dresses to cover, I
Right.
guess, the demand. So.
And I really think they need a strong IT team. Like in general, the company is like everyone's doing everything kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they really need to define the roles so that they can scale in a way that they're comfortable with and not make it worse.
Mm-hmm.
not to say that they can't try to do, maybe do an A/B test, try to offer something else. But I think for now, the best way, the best they can do is with the money that they already have, because they have enough to fix their operations, so they don't need financing for that. But if they were to scale, they would need more money, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think if they take a moment to fix their operations and really think it through, once they have people in place, once they have a CTO in place, they can fix those website issues and increase their inventory of dresses for now. And then maybe by the end of the year or the following year, they can add another line of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
add the accessories, handbags, or shoes or whatever. And they have enough time to do market research too. If, they know people want accessories, so they could probably start with that they already know they want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And plus the warehousing stuff is manual. I don't think it should be manual if they want to scale.
Yeah, that's true. They'd have to have a lot more people working in the warehouse to be able to keep up with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we covered that one pretty well. I can give a summary.
Now?
Let's see, we're at. Maybe I'll make my screen bigger now. Tell me. No, I don't know where we're at.
Because mine doesn't really say.
Yeah, mine doesn't either. I'm using my computer today because my phone I couldn't figure out how to get it to record.
Oh.
Yeah,
so I don't think it shows us here, but
yeah. I think we covered everything pretty well though.
Yeah, I think so. Just have to hope I got the break-even thing correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Something I'm worried about. But how do you usually write your case? Because there's that guide thing, but you don't have to answer all the questions. It's just like a guide. How do you?
For the most part, I just follow that. Yeah, I just kind of stick to it. There's some questions where it's kind of not much you could put, so I kind of mix it with some of the other questions. But for the most part, I just follow that.
And do you add the instructor's questions?
Yeah, I usually look at those and kind of include those into the questions in the guide.
Okay.
I know that on the first case, I haven't found the link anywhere else, but on the first case, let's see if I can.
We haven't had those graded yet. I didn't see anything, I think.
Yeah, I didn't notice it either. I guess I haven't checked yet though. But.
Because I follow it, the case thing, and then there's at the end of it, there's like additional questions and stuff, helpful questions, but I think those are just to get you thinking. Yeah, because I don't want to make mine super long either.
Yeah, mine have usually been about a page.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
nothing I think crazy long.
I think as long as he knows, I guess, that we understand the case and answer the questions, I think we'll be fine. But yeah, I don't think he's graded it yet. So I really don't know if what I'm doing is right or wrong until he actually.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we can be completely off.
My guess is he's probably going to focus more on our hypothesis.
Yeah, me too.
But who knows? Let's see. Do we need to do anything else on here?
I think we just, if you just want to give a summary, I think.
Oh yeah.
I think that was it. We answered I was looking at the other questions, the before.
Mm-hmm.
See if there's something there to add.
Well,
I think we pretty much covered it. I mean,
mm-hmm.
the other questions are pretty similar to these.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want, you want to give the summary or?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. So in this case, we decided that the order does matter. They probably should have done the trial a little earlier so they can get more funding and then also show the designers that they're going to be successful, and show them that they have a good demand of their dresses. They do have some room for improvement for their website, and also like the operations, trying to get everything all organized, and I guess with the IT, get everyone doing their job to be able to help organize the website, make it easier to use for some of their customers that struggle with that. They do need more dresses in inventory to keep up with their demand, because they have a pretty big waiting list. Overall, they've done pretty well, and they should wait to scale quickly. They should wait because they need to focus on improving their website, and then they need to get a good IT team to work on that, and then they need to improve their operations to make sure that they have, I guess, the manpower to keep up with their demand. So, is there anything else you wanted to add to that?
I think pretty much covered it. I think other than that is that their profit per dress is, positive.
Mm-hmm.
They have a good break-even point. So with the calculations that we made, it is viable for them to do this business. So for the first 2 months, by mid-January, the average dress is rented 2 times and calculated around $964 of profit per dress. So it is a viable business, and they validated it these first months. Yeah, I think we pretty much covered it.
Yes, I agree. I guess this will send me a link, or I guess it'll have it when I end the broadcast, right?
Yeah, so you'll end it, then you'll get it on YouTube.
Okay.
And then you'll just get that link, and you can just check where you started the summary, and then give me the number wherever it started and the link.
Okay. All right, I could do that.
Okay, well, sounds good. And yeah, I guess we'll see what groups we're in.
Okay, cool. And I'll go sign up for that group 5 as well. So.
Okay, sounds good. We'll see you then.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.